This video will show you how to navigate the OPS WebDesktop Portal. The portal can be used at work, but its main purpose is for OPS employees to access websites and work files from home that they were not able to access before. First, you need to open a browser and go to the website portal.ops.org. Notice that you do not type the W's in front of it. When the portal is open, you'll type in your network credentials. Before I log in, I want to talk about the 3 links below your login screen. The first link says Reset Password. However, you are unable to use this link. It will not work for you. If you do need to reset your network login, you'll need to visit the website reset.ops.org. The next one is the system check. It's important anytime that you start the portal for the first time on a computer that you do a system check to make sure that that computer is up to date. When I click inside the system check, it's going to check my computer for 4 different things. On a Macintosh computer, you'll only see 3 of these. What you're looking for are 4 green check marks for a Windows computer and 3 green check marks for a Macintosh computer. Within the system, they use Java. Java is important to run. So this is asking me, do I want to block potentially unsafe components from being run? And I can see down below that it says this is coming from Java. It's very important that I allow Java to do all of the components it needs, so I'm going to choose Don't Block. Anytime they ask you a warning about Java, or from a company called Stoneware, or something about running an applet, make sure you select where you don't block it or you allow it to run. So I'll select Don't Block. Now mine have all successfully checked. Sometimes you'll get a red X telling you your Java needs updated. You can click on the little magnifying glass next to it, and there are some links for you to follow to install the plugin. I'm going to close out of that system check. A good time to do the system check is the first time you're ever using it on your home computer, or if you're running into some errors showing up as you're working through the portal. The next, I'm going to choose Login after I type in my network credentials, and it's going to open up to my home screen. The home screen, when you first enter into it, will just have the logout button, but it will track recent links that you've gone to so that you can have quick access to the most popular ones. Anytime that you're inside the portal system, if you want to get back to this screen, you can click the Home tab on the top. Going across the top to the links, I'll open up the Account window. Inside the Account window, here's another link to change the password, however it will not work. Again, you would want to go to the reset.ops.org website. Password Manager allows you to manage different passwords that do not directly connect to your network login. When I'm inside this and I'm done, I can press this larger white X in the corner and it returns me back to the account. Inside, there's another place that you can do the same system check. So if you realize that you're having errors and you want to do the system check without having to log out, you can come back to the account window. Up on the top, there's different departments. Library Services has some popular website links that you can connect to. I'm going to skip over to the Tech Training Department. The Tech Training Department also includes some important links that you can connect to. Inside the Tech Hub is where you can find additional training on the OPS WebDesktop Portal. I'm going to skip now to the OPS Staff Applications. Again, there are some very popular different links that you'll need for your work. And some of these links you were not able to access from home before, but as long as you're in the portal, you'll be allowed to get into them. These links are also set up that when you're logged in with your network credentials and you click on them, they will naturally log you in. I'll click on Infinite Campus. It will detect my network login that I used for the portal, and it will enter me into my Infinite Campus account. Across the top, you'll notice that it opened up an additional tab. If it does that, you can click back to the portal and then back to Infinite Campus. When you're done with Infinite Campus, you can close it. For right now, I'm going to keep that open, and I'm going to show you 2 specific links that act a little bit differently when you're inside the portal. One of those is PeopleSoft. It is important to learn correctly how to use PeopleSoft in first class when you're inside the portal. When you click on PeopleSoft, it's going to load up a system that's a remote desktop. It's called RDP. When it's first asking for this connection, you might get this warning that asks you if you want to connect. I'll say connect. You'll see your screen turn blue, and it should add in your username and password once it connects to that remote desktop. So don't start typing your username and password yet. It should populate that in there for you. Now what should happen is it should naturally add you in. Mine got stuck on the login, and it usually will do that sometimes the first time. So I like to go in and type my password in just to make sure that it's in there correctly, and then it signs me in. Now when you close out of PeopleSoft in first class, there's a special way to do it also, because you have to tell the RDP to shut down and disconnect. To do this, when you're working in PeopleSoft, it's important to go to the top right side and sign out of your PeopleSoft account. And then within this RDP, Remote Desktop Connection, you'll go to the top right and look for a little X in the corner. You'll close it, and then that blue screen, you'll want to wait for just a little bit until it tells you that it's logging off and disconnecting. And then it will bring you back to the website. Now this still has Infinite Campus showing, so I'll click on my tab to take me back to the portal. First Class acts in a similar way. When you click on First Class, it's going to use that remote desktop connection. You'll wait for it to log into that RDP, and it will automatically populate your username and password for First Class. Once you're in your First Class system, you can work through it. I will tell you that the First Class system in here doesn't always work great to the point where you can add in people's names, attach documents. So it would be best to use First Class if you were going to use it at home if you download the First Class client off the OPS website. However, if you're doing something special like doing an order through PNP and they send you a link in the email and you're at home, you will have to use the First Class within here. When you log off of First Class, there's also the important way to do it is to go up to the top right corner and click on the X. And then when you get the screen for First Class, choose Exit. This will take some time to log off and disconnect you the correct way. I'll go back into the portal. So there are several different items that you can find in the OPS staff applications to use at home. Up at the top, there's a tab for your office and files. You can locate your files inside here in the My Files folder as long as you have saved your files at work onto your home folder, which is also called your H drive. You would be able to locate them inside your H drive. We have a file management video that explains in detail how to navigate your files, edit, save, and upload files to the H drive from home on the OPS Tech Hub website. I'm going to return back to the portal by closing this tab and navigate through the bottom tabs. The first one allows you to see any open applications when you click on it. So I can see my Infinite Campus is open. I can close it from here, or I can click and go directly back to Infinite Campus. I'm going to close it. The next button is a lock button. The lock button is important if you're going to step away for just a moment. You click on it, it keeps the portal running, and then you can come back after a couple minutes and type in your password, and it will allow you to keep working in the portal. The little search bar, when you click inside it, if you're looking for a certain application and you don't want to find where it's at, you can just type in some keywords. So if I type in book, it shows me a direct link to Bookflix and then World Book Kids. The next button allows me to go into my settings. Within your settings, you can choose a different type of wallpaper. When I click on the current wallpaper, it's going to open up some different styles. I select whichever style I like, and that will be on my opening screen when I log back in. Across the left side, I can go to the default menu. This allows you to change what would show up when you first log in. I like my home page to be the first thing, but you could put a check mark in any of these and it would become your opening screen. I do like to set up my favorites, and these will be the different types of things that appear on that opening screen. So you might find some things that you like to use quite often, like my files. So I'll go to the end of this on the right side and click so that a check mark appears. If there's something else that you use quite often, it can show up in that opening screen. And then the last button, I won't click it, but this is where you can log out of the portal. I want to show you that you can click up on the Home tab, and now you can see my different background. I can see that my favorites are in place. Now let's discuss the logout. When I'm finished with this, it's important that I click log out. The portal is set to stay running until an hour of inactivity passes by. The system will give a lot of access to anyone that happened into your computer or mobile device when you step away. And speaking of mobile devices, this system works great on iPads and phones. There are some limitations, however. When you're working on an iPad or a phone, there's some websites that were not created as touch interface websites. So First Class, PeopleSoft, and Angel don't work great on an iPhone or a phone or an iPad. You can get to them. They'll work a little bit. They're just a little bit clunkier and harder to use. I would suggest using a regular computer for those items if you plan to use them extensively. Or if you're using First Class, I would use the First Class client that you would download onto your mobile device. Just a reminder, if you run into some error messages or issues, first try a system check to make sure your Java is up to date, and make sure that anytime you get an alert that Java or an applet or a Stoneware message is trying to run, allow it to run. This concludes the basic navigation and customization training of the OPS WebDesktop Portal. You can now view the file management video to see how you can work with your files when you're at home via the portal. Please visit www.ops.org/TechHub. Have a great day.